Hey, cutie cat, how are you? Yes, it's a thing. It's what I do. I was actually going to shoot outside. However, it was appropriate for the topic for today. However, it was cold. It was a little too cold to be out there for the length of time that I'm usually there. If it was a shorter show, then normally I would do something a little differently. But so I had to bring it inside to the impromptu inner crazy studio of Inside Moonshadow. But great to see you, cutie cat. Feel free to say hi, everybody. Thank you very much for coming in. Hello, Anna. How you doing? And thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's not the feeling I've been having lately, but thank you. I appreciate that. It's been challenging. It's been challenging lately. But that's usually how everything is. That's how life is, pretty much. It's challenging, right? But yeah, we have a great topic for today, and this is episode 108. You're vertical for now, resting a lot. Yeah, well, I know you haven't been feeling well, so I can understand that. And there's nothing wrong with resting up and, trying to regroup and get back your health, because I know you've been under the weather for the past week or so. You kind of ran into a door today. That's kind of kooky. That's not good. I know that, what was this? This a couple of nights ago. I wake up very, very early in the morning, and I get very little sleep. Hey, Michael. How you doing? And I woke up. My body decided to move before I was fully awake. So it felt like the whole room kind of moved, and I was like, whoa. It was kind of crazy. So yeah, so sometimes my body's a little more enthusiastic than I was still kind of like lucid in a dreamlike state. So it's kind of weird. But running into a door, that's something I'd pull without thinking sometimes, because I've got so many things going on in my head. Oh, you really had to use the bathroom, kick the door, and it swung back at you. So Doris said, hey, don't treat me like that. Yes, and we have our trusty producer, Ariella, in the house. It happens. It really does. And, sometimes best laid plans don't always work out as well as you'd like. I had every intention to do things a little differently today. And, yeah. Life has a way of kind of throwing a curveball or throwing a boomerang into the mix sometimes. But yes, that does happen. And we have a great topic today. And if I sound a little sniffly, it's because I was outside when I did the post to the invitational post in Instagram and to send over to Facebook and everything. For the show, I was doing it outside. I had every intention of doing the show outside. And I was like, you're going to go out there for the full length of a normal show? I don't know. Yes, and in current news, the stock market has done a big dip. Well, when enough people break promises high up on the ladder, things get affected. Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm still wearing my jacket because it was a little chilly. It was a little chilly outside, and it is what it is. I'm not always wearing appropriate clothing. Not always. So yeah, so that way I was like, whoa, it's a little bit too chilly to be out here for the length of the show. Oh yeah. But I'm glad to see you all here. It's really, really good to see everyone. It's another Monday. Yes, another moon day. And also, there is a good possibility, more than likely, that I will be also shooting an extra segment this week because there may be some news, number one. And number two, this week is the second year mark this week of Inside Moonshadow. So I've been doing this now for 2 years consecutively, not missing a week for 2 years. So to some people that may not be a lot. But in the world of broadcasting and live streaming, just imagine for a second to know of a show that's still functioning. If you go by television, I think they go by 10 or 12 episodes as a season. So if you do the math, this is like the 7th season or something. Yes, that's why I was thinking of doing that. So there may be, so I'm looking at potentially a bonus segment of Inside Moonshadow. No, we didn't. Actually, technically, it's February 8th, and we're in February 5th right now. So the way it landed, it didn't land up landing on a Monday. It lands on a Thursday. So I believe, I'm almost positive, I'm 99% positive that February 8th marked the 2-year mark of doing this. And it's pretty awesome. So yeah, so looking forward, so I'm probably going to end up doing a show that may be kind of loose-ended, wide open kind of thing. And that's okay. I hope your mom's okay. Sending good juju from this end. I hope your mom's okay. Yeah, and if everyone can send some good healing energy over to Ariel's mom. She's in the hospital. I'm not going to divulge all kinds of craziness, but it was something that she hasn't been feeling well, and they're not sure what it is. So sending some good juju out to your moms, because she's pretty cool peeps. And she's adopted some moon bear as well. Oh, also, if you click on the phone screen, the comments stay up longer and you can scroll through them. Really? Get out of town! That's pretty freaking cool! Yes! Well, no, I can do that. I could scroll. I can go back and say, bonus and said Moonshadow, so cool for Michael. And Cutie Cat give a shout out to all your subscribers to that vid. Ooh. And Anna said, I noticed the background was different. Glad you're inside warm and toasty. Excellent. You learn something new every day. Can I do any beard or mustache tricks? Beard or mustache tricks? You'll have to elaborate on that. You mean style? You mean styling? I do. I know. I style my stuff all the time differently. I will say this regarding the whole facial hair thing, by accident, I shaved everything off. Everything was completely gone. And at first, I was slightly shocked about it. But then for the next week, I was like, oh man, it felt so weird. That's like when you, oh, you mean moving it around or something weird like that. Well, I can do some weird things with my face. Yeah. I guess what David Letterman used to call it stupid human pet tricks or something. So, oh yeah, I know it was a while ago. There is no pictures with that. There is none. But fun fact, a few things that I can do that some people can't maybe is like the wiggling of the nose. Not a lot of people can wiggle your nose like that. And then the eyebrow. Independently sprung eyebrows. This is not to show people I actually have something planned, by the way. And then, one more thing that can be done is this, believe it or not. I can actually wiggle my ears. Awesome. And lift only one eyebrow. Then you could do the same. Fantastic. You know, that takes a lot of skills. Mind in the gutter, the struggle is real. Oh, that's terrible. Michael. Don't expect that from you. No, actually, you're probably worse than me. Right? No, I'm sure. But yeah, so no, I wasn't sure what you meant by my mustache. If it did, I'd probably be in the Guinness Book of World Records or Ripley's Believe It or Not or some kind of craziness. But no, it's not that talented. It just kind of sits there. That's all it does, really. You can lift one eyebrow at a time, both sides. Perks of being ambidextrous. Yes, and that's interesting. I just realized, and I can't believe. Okay. Well, it's okay if you don't have a beard or mustache. I'm sure you look fine without one. So that's a good thing. One thing I've recently, and I can't believe it didn't come to me sooner, had to come up in a graphic in social media, believe it or not, was the fact of, for many years, I used to I still consider myself an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert. So I thought that was pretty interesting. However, ambivert. Right? Ambivert. That's like ambidextrous, but ambiverted. So I came to realize that I'm ambiverted. I'm social, but not yet always social. I know, I didn't realize. So I'm ambiverted. That's kind of crazy. That's nuts. But I'm glad y'all here because we're going to have an interesting topic today. Now, we can get onto the topic. If you guys all ready. Actually, at one point in time, I was thinking about reading a story. Not today. But I was actually thinking of story time. That might be an extra little thing. Who knows? That might be interesting. Well, you could be ambiverted in a certain way too. That is very possible. One thing I noticed with YouTube, though, is the numbers fluctuate of how many people are here. So it goes down, it goes up, but then I see people respond. So it's very, very strange how that works out. Ambiverted barnacle. You're an ambiverted doe. Not doe. Doe. I think that's it. I know, right? That was crazy. That was a crazy thing. But see, this is my only opinion on that is I understand your team won the Super Bowl. Now, my question is, the dude that was so excited about the car tipping over, was that his car? I could almost bet any money that it wasn't his car. It was probably someone else's. Now, I don't think he'd have the same amount of enthusiasm if a bunch of people, crazed fans for the Philadelphia Eagles, decided to flip his car over. I don't think he'd be liking that. He'd probably be like, dudes. Okay, I got it. We're excited. Not my car. Not my car. Hashtag, not my car. So yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense to me either, to be honest. I think to be excited that your team won is great, and I want to say congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, their first Super Bowl win. That is fantastic. Well, and interestingly enough, the Minnesota Vikings had a reputation of people, the purple people eaters and all this aggressive kind of reputation, but they were, but none of that happened. I remember. There you go. And I'm glad that your mom's going to get discharged and is coming home. Fantastic. That is fantastic. Yes, please do. That is great news. I'm glad for that. Yeah, she's been in the hospital for a few days, so. But yeah, so I don't understand that whole violence and like stuff that happens in concerts and things. And I've been in mosh pits. I've actually jumped in mosh pits and never gotten hurt. So I think there's a level of just mindfulness even there. So it's something to think about. Ooh. Surprise package. Ew. Good to know. Good to know. But, okay, let's get on this. Let's get on the topic for today. That'd be good. Oh, and I have to apologize for last week. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. This has to be... welcome back, kitty cat. It was bad. Last week, back at the ranch, I could not stop the live stream. So what happens, I went to go shut off the live stream. It didn't happen. So after that, I went, oh, you were always there. I apologize. Well, I'm glad you're still here. The numbers fluctuate. So it says that there are less people here, but there are more people in the room. Does it make sense? I don't know. But welcome back, Anna. So now what ended up happening, so I had to shut down the live stream because the live stream was still stuck in live. So at the end of last week's show, it's it's in portrait mode, it's in sideways, it's all that, and I'm like, and it's in black, practically black and white, and I had to shut it down. Granted, that these shows have to be edited and put back up, so the replays will look a lot better. But yeah, it's like, you got me all like and pushing buttons and whatnot in the last like 2 seconds. So I'm like, oh man, I'm like, just long enough. It was just long enough for me to go live just to show that image. I'm like, yeah, it's me. That's how I roll. That's from the Life is Messy department of Inside Moonshadow. Seriously. But yes. Yeah, blooper reel. I think my whole show has been a blooper reel. But I hope my content has been decent. I've tried to put good content out there for the last 108 episodes. 108 episodes. What? Is it 108? Yeah, it is 108, isn't it? I think it is. So yeah. But almost we're also getting through with the West Coast Wanderlust. That's almost done. I got to blame it on me. It's on me. Things have been really crazy on this end and challenging. So that will be happening soon. So that'll be good. And a lot of new things are coming up. So who knows? Maybe some more good news. Maybe there'll be some good news on Thursday. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. So please do send some good juju to the Insight team for us to progress in things as well. All right, so let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the topic. It's a good topic. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, and it's 22:50. So 22 minutes, 50 seconds. Welcome to Inside Moonshadow. I'm Moonshadow, an Integrative Holistic Therapist, CHI-vangelist, earthy, crunchy guy, global citizen, and overall someone that likes to share stories and connect with people. Talk about things. Sometimes hot topics. Sometimes I just Instagram goat things, pugs. But try to be inspirational. I try to put out good juju into the world where there's a lack thereof of good juju. Yes, earthy crunchy guy, basically. Yeah. Well, that's what I consider. Earthy crunchy is kind of like, is someone that's spiritual, but someone that's nature oriented. And today's topic will not disappoint, because today's topic really is also very nature oriented as well. Now, of course, I try to imbue spirituality, some form of spirituality, some kind of earthy crunchiness, some kind of mindfulness in. Am I a spiritual Cheeto? Maybe. You never know. It's possible. But I try to instill mindfulness, and I try to instill good juju out there, because the world today is kind of like the apocalypse. Seriously. There's stuff that is going on right now that if you throw in some beat up vehicles with spikes on them, zombies, cars flipping over, stuff like that, it'd be interesting. But it's very much like that. Well, hey, don't, Cheetos are awesome. So I'm very offended. As someone that enjoys Cheetos every now and then, Cheetos are offended. The color orange is also offended too. Some people do not rock the color orange very well. Just saying. However, but today's topic is a good one. It came to me actually. Oh, that's a good question. Do I believe in Judgment Day? I believe we're already in Judgment People are too judgy already. So I think we're in Judgment Day every day. However, me being a very spiritual person and also more not as organized in religion, I'm more spiritual, therefore earthy crunchy. It's Judgment Day. I believe that a lot of us already measure ourselves every day mindfully on what we do and how we handle the world. So Judgment Day, I'm still on the fence with that. I'm still in the I'm pretty kind of in the old school version of spirituality still. But that's a good question, though. But that is a good question. But I do believe that you should promote and put out good juju, and you should always think well of others and be well of others all the time. I think that's important too. And that goes across the board to any spirituality, any walk of faith. They all say that. You know, and believe it or not, they're all more alike than not, most of the time. So if you really look at it, if you superimpose most religions, they have a lot of similarities, more similarities than we'd like to, some people would like to admit, for sure. But now, onto the topic. So the topic is about, believe it or not, here I am in a digital landscape talking about unplugging and doing things out in nature. Okay? And there's a difference. Your brain actually gets affected when you do things outside as opposed to inside. So now, is a good question for all of you. How often do you actually unplug? That's okay. I'll catch you on the flip, Diana. So how many of you actually unplug? And I'm talking about, shut off the television, step away from your phone, step away from, well, kind of like camping, but actually stepping away from your electronic devices. Think about it. Now, if you follow me at all, you will see, there you go. Now, Anna did not have a smartphone. A smartphone is new in her life, so now she's kind of obsessed, slightly. But the thing is, in the grand scheme of things, technology is surrounding us, right? We're always around technology. We're continuously, wrapped around, technology. We go to, Dunkin' Donuts. They're going to have a flat screen or 2 flat screens up. It could be the news. It could be a show. It could be this, some kind of game going on. Okay, like school has you away from tech less. And this is exactly what I mean. So, and I'm the same. I'm the same. I am always surrounded by technology. A lot of times my TV is on. A lot of times, sometimes it's usually on for just background. I'm not even watching it. It's just there for background, like FM noise. Kind of cool. Oh, thanks, Bradley. Good to see you here. Well, I am I am thinking about going back and doing some more Periscope stuff. So, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. So looking at that from that perspective, you go ahead and exactly. So now we're surrounded by technology all the time. But the interesting thing happened the other day, and it wasn't a power outage. It was just something that came to me. It was intuitive. Something just told me to take a break, to just step away from it. Just step away from it. So I actually did some crazy stuff. Now, most of the people here in this broadcast and part of the Insight Circle, they know that I'm crazy enough to do this kind of thing. But I actually took some time. I didn't have any electronics on me, didn't have my phone on me, anything like that. And I actually went earthing. Now, there's another show. I've done another show, broadcast on earthing. So, and there's also, I've shared some, there was a post up there in the digital landscape of social media talking about grounding. And I also shared that as well. But I actually went out earthing. And this is like with this weather, winter, and I was out earthing. Now, the interesting thing about that, I actually felt something happening being out there. And I actually felt different. Now, even though I am empathic and everything, I am an empath and all that. However, I did not suspect such a profound feeling. I didn't suspect such a drastic change. So when I walked out there, I pulled off my shoes, and I'm walking barefoot outside, and it's winter. We're in February now, and so as I'm walking around, I'm like, wow, I could feel things change. I felt differences. I felt the energy. I felt a difference in energy. And also, too, and Anna knows this, and a lot of the people here had seen the show on earthing. It was actually during winter. No, was it during winter? No. I mentioned, this was after the fact, I mentioned that I went earthing and it was snowing out. And I actually took a picture of 2 barefoot marks in the snow. But the thing is this, I noticed a profound change. So I wanted to know, this was something that this topic came to me. I was like, wow, to completely unplug for a good amount of time and to be outside with no technology. Why am I being affected so differently? Why am I so changed? Why is there, why do I feel so different? Well, it brought me to have to to sit there and research the idea, to research this topic. I missed the polar plunge this year. I intend to do it next year. I missed it this year because, sure enough, I had a pretty bad cold going into the new year, which I rarely get sick. So I couldn't go into the polar plunge thing. But next year I'll definitely be doing it. And distractions too. But I really need to jump into, I would have loved to do that. But I will say, I did put my feet in the water in this new year. In the cold water. And it was cold. For sure. So I do some crazy, I like doing some crazy things. But you know what? It's all about experiencing life from a different perspective. Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? Honestly, and in talking about this, Bradley, that I think we're all being called back to that. With everything that's happening right now, we are being called back to the divine masculine and feminine. I think we're all being called to that now. So if you really, really think about it, more people, you find that more people, you notice on social media, a lot, like yoga is more prevalent now than it used to be. A lot more people are putting out their spiritual thoughts, which is incredible, which I think is amazing. I think that's the way it should be. So that's really, really important. So I appreciate that compliment. That's really cool. And honestly, we have both polarities in us. So as a male, there you have the divine feminine, or the sacred feminine, and the sacred masculine. We all have that within us because that's how we function. We are not one or the other. We just lean more towards one than the other. But we're all part of that. So that's a good point. Thank you very much, Bradley, for bringing that in. But ultimately, this is what's important. We forget about nature. We forget about the things that we do. We think that, just because you're a soccer dad or a soccer mom and you've got things you got to do and you got to work and you have to this and you have to that and you have to check your emails and you have to go grocery shopping and all these things, you forget. In all this minutia, we forget. What ends up happening is self-care goes into our periphery. It no longer becomes part of us. And even now, and of course, I embrace technology, as you guys know, because here I am with an LED light, my phone, and a tripod. That's it. It's pretty bare for the most part. But the thing is, when I went ahead and I stepped away from technology for an afternoon, now I actually use technology for work as well. I do readings via technology. If they're not local, I teach South Koreans, and I give a big shout out to my students out there. If you guys get your replay, I teach English to South Koreans, and that's utilizing technology as well. But to be away from it all, there was a profound change within me. And so when I did the research afterwards, I'm like, I want to think about this. I want to really look at this a little deeper. And they actually did studies where they took a group of people and they had them exercise and do activities inside. And then they had activities and they did things outside. And the interesting thing is they actually they plugged them into the EEG machines and everything so they can test, so they can get a thorough testing, to get results on both aspects. And they found, now this is serious, they found the people that were outside in nature, they exhibited lower blood pressure. They were more relaxed. They breathed. They as Anna's saying, you breathe differently, right? So they were more calm. Their heart rate was lowered. It was just totally different. So when I found actual evidence to this, I'm like, wow. I'm like, I love being outside. I love being in nature. Why am I not doing this more often? Why am I not doing it? And this is also part of the thing, is we get stuck in the hustle and bustle of life, and we don't make the time to do this kind of thing. We don't make the time to unplug for a while. Like, there are families nowadays, because they have to, where they will say they'll have a device-free dinner, where they just say, okay, no phones, no tablets, we're going to have a family dinner, or game night. Now Bradley's saying what we really want to be is naked singing in the rainforest, stoned and exalted, one with the souls of the ancestors, one with the... Yeah, there you go. And there is still part of that within us. There is still part of that tribal sense within us. Because, perfect example, with the game yesterday. Now the Eagles won, that's fantastic. They're Super Bowl, victors. Beautiful. Someone decided, or a group of people decided, they're going to flip a car. That's tribal mentality. I'm not saying that's good tribal mentality. It's more like mob mentality, really. But they thought about that. They were like, they were like, what, like, oh, I'm so excited. I got so much, adrenaline going through me. I think I'm just going to flip a car. Well, not the smartest thing to do. Jump up and down, do jumping jacks. I don't know, do something else. Run around a building, scream like a crazy fool. But like I said, I doubted the guy that flipped the car. I doubted it was his car. I was like, hey guys, let's flip my F-250. Let's do it. I doubt it was his car. So the person that car did get flipped, I'm sure that they weren't. Yes, stupidity and intelligence are contagious. Right. I would probably, if I was there, I'd probably go like, Stanley, Ralph, Joe, John, Mario, Henry. Let's not flip that car. How about that? How about let's go and just do something else? Do the Macarena. Do whatever. Be foolish in another way that we're not going to get arrested. That'd just be a nice idea. Just saying, But the thing was, in this highly connected, super digital, highly electronic world, we're like encapsulated, we're stuck, we're connected. And even I always have a backup power bank for my phone, for my devices. True. Why? Because in case, if I all of a sudden I'm going to live stream or do something, I need to make sure I have a backup. Now, do I have a backup right now? I don't. I'm as naked technologically as I can be, other than my phone and my light and my tripod. That is it. I could literally do this. See? Whoa! That's it. That's the whole setup. So no green screens, no anything like that. Kind of craziness. But sometimes simplicity is good too. Sometimes I think content is important. So in this aha moment, I was like, wow, this feels really nice. To not have something strapped onto me, to not have my phone dinging off, to actually have my bare feet on the ground. And I was out there for a good, barefoot for a while. Well, there's nothing wrong with being naked. But out here now, in winter, is not so great. It's not too great. Gotta be careful with that. But there was a profound change, though. So now, with device-free dinners, and the family's bringing back game night. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, I'm talking everything. Emails, everything. Everything. So with that, I have literally witnessed, and this is the sad part of it, and this wasn't my particular family, this is another family, other people I knew, but I literally saw 4 people texting each other, and they were not far from each other, where they could have just said, hey, dinner's ready. That was it. But no. Dinner's ready. Okay. What are we having? Meatloaf. Oh. Okay. And I'm literally, you know what I mean? Like, how big? It's this house isn't like, a castle where you have to like, truck across, a mile and a half to the north wing. You're talking like, just small house. And they're like, it drove me crazy. I was like, really? I don't get that. But this is we've kind of been brought into this. Okay. And that makes a difference too. And Anna's saying that there's a difference between putting the phone on the nightstand as opposed to in the drawer. Now, I understand that you want to be connected. I understand that we're always involved. I understand that. Like, I will literally, especially now, I've really put out there more of the movement of, as you notice, you'll see a lot of my posts have be strong, be amazing, be you, and they'll have moon sights. So now a moon sight is just an insight coming from me. But I have a lot more activity on there now than I used to, because I'm really trying to put out there more motivational, more mindfulness in a larger way. And so that's why I started, with this new movement, and hashtags are kind of like the wheels, I guess, or the engine, or a component of it. And I started using be strong, be amazing, be you in my posts. Even if it's a repost from Instagram, if it's something motivational, I've just put that out there. But interestingly enough, sometimes it's good to be still. As Bradley was saying, be here now. I remember putting a post up. This is going back, it's been years. It's honestly been years. And I just put one post up. 2 words, 1 period, and all I said was, just breathe. That was the post. Just breathe. It was years ago. That looking at it, people were like, wow, you know what I mean? And all I said was just 2 words, just breathe. Just breathe. But this is part of it, is in this crazy complicated world where everything's about agendas, everything's about, sideways kind of dealings, acting one way, wearing masks, not necessarily being authentic or being vulnerable, acting, being someone else, or acting like someone else for whatever reason. We forget sometimes simplicity is just amazing. So here I was out there, my feet on the ground, and I took a walk, and I sat outside, and I had my feet on the ground, and anyone walking by probably thought I was crazy, because, like I said, it's winter, right? But the thing was, I just felt a sense of peace. Didn't have my phone on me, and I was like, wow, this is nice. And also, too, yes, it's also good for grounding, too, is touching a tree or connecting with a tree, or tree medicine. That's also very good. But this is all like, am I saying anything new? Actually, no. We've been doing this as tribal people forever, from the beginning. Cave people actually revered their surroundings. And they were limited. And they were limited in the intelligence that we have today. But I can honestly say that sometimes I'm thinking that cavemen probably had it better. They probably had it right. They focused on the things that mattered, in a way. Look, we actually have a paleo diet. Eat like a caveman, for a reason. But this is really, really important. So unplugging, and I understand that it's not easy to do, but no different than fasting, no different than just fasting every now and then, or doing a cleanse every now and then. Unplugging from technology can do you a crazy amount of good. So it's like, there's a little challenge for you. There are people that go ahead and do Peloton, or they do spinning. They go to a spinning class. That's great. You're going, you're exercising, you're in a room indoors with a bunch of people spinning. And you too can go ahead and buy a bicycle, an exercise bike with a TV screen on it, connect it to Google Maps, and therefore ride the Great Wall of China. Now, I think that's fantastic. I think in the case of technology, I think that's great. If I wanted to go and, just bike the Himalayas or whatever, that's cool if I wanted to do that. But how many people actually get on a bike? This past year, I actually looked at my mountain bike twice. I looked at it, and I didn't pull it out because it's kind of buried behind a couple of things. So, that's other than the Polar Plunge next year. I may actually have to live stream that. But, coming up to spring, I got to dig out my bike. So, in unplugging, in being out in nature for that span of time I was out there, it brought me to bringing me back to center. With all this craziness and chaos, chaotic energy going on around you, you need to do this every now and then. You need to forget about the phone. Longboard. Longboards are cool too. Actually, I just saw a post about a longboard maker on social media, which was pretty cool. And I have a skateboard somewhere too. In fact, that's probably the worst accident I've ever had in life. And I've been in car accidents. I've been in situations like that. But the worst accident I've ever had where I was physically injured was in a moving vehicle. Well, on a moving vehicle, and that was a skateboard. And I scraped my ribs. I scraped my side down to rib. So, white. The color white you see, like the color white you see back there, is not white compared to the color white of rib. Yes, it was very graphic. Oh yeah, it was not good. But see, this is the big part of it though, is that we forget to unplug. We forget to put down the phone. We forget to do that stuff from time to time. When are we forced to do that? We're forced to do that when there's a power outage. Now, this was another hint kind of for this topic for today, because going back a while ago, we had a power outage, and I'm like, oh, crap. I need to make sure my power banks are good. I need to do this and that. You know what I mean? I need to be prepared. But then I thought about it. I was like, okay, the power banks need to be charged just for in case of emergency. That's it. So, you got lanterns, you have to make sure you have your lighting and that kind of thing. But that kind of forced me into unplugging because there was no power. So interestingly enough, my challenge to you is this. In a matter of a month, for one day, that's it. Just one day, put down your phone and do something that does not require a ton of technology. You could do it in the spring, you could do it in the summer, you can do it in the fall, you can do it whenever you want to do it. But unplug for a little bit. Be aware of your environment. Not in a, oh my God, someone's going to, mug me kind of way. But be aware of the environment. Be aware of the weather. Be aware of what's happening around you. Prior to this broadcast, I was actually going to broadcast outside. I had, gloves on. I had gloves ready, all that good stuff. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, I tend to be a little more long-winded in the show. It's not a typical YouTube show, so it's not like, 12, 15, 20 minutes. If it was, I would have been outside without a problem. But, so I brought it inside. Now, if this was summer or spring or fall, I would have been outside. I would have been doing it outside, which I do have a few broadcasts that I've done outside. So looking at it, I'm trying to do a lot more mobile things and that's also going to be coming up too. So the content may vary quite a bit. Different things are going to be done differently, and I think that will be pretty neat. Very true. And Bradley saying mundane moments get lost in the sands of time. Being present is where the memories are made. And it is very true. It is very true. And that's really all we have. If you think about it, all we have is this present moment. We don't have anything else. We don't have the future because it's unknown, and we don't have the past because it's already been written. So even though time travel, you never know about time travel, but for all intensive purposes, what you have is right now. So in making a decision now, when you make that decision solid. Make it stick. So if you have a family, you can have a device-free dinner once a week. Something like that. Or you unplug. How are you? What's going on? How is school? We've lost the art of communication. We don't communicate as well anymore. We talk in characters of 140. We don't really talk as long as we used to. You know? And that's unfortunate. I have to see that. I think, have I seen that movie? I'm not sure if I've seen that movie. The Fog. But this is all part of it. Now I've had the blessings of being able to walk barefoot in the bushveld of South Africa and to be in Ireland and to be in different places. And that's like really, really awesome. Also over on the West Coast in Nevada, being out there, that was also very cool. In Tahoe and a lot of that areas. I haven't been to Black Rock Desert yet, but that's still on the list to go. That'd be very, very cool. But ultimately, this is really important. Being able to unplug, to be able to say, look, I need a little me time. Now, it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. Now, Anna is saying here, a lot of us can communicate really well. The limits of platforms rein us in. But in the real, I wish we could all talk all night and enjoy the silences too. And that has happened. And Anna is witness to that too. Many times that, and again, using technology, because a lot of the insight peeps are all over the world. You know, and yes, there are some cool people that live in Nevada. I wonder who that is. And also too, Colorado. It's another place on the list of visiting, as well as Korea too. But see, this is the part of it. When I felt that profound change. Oh yeah, that 14-hour live stream. Yeah, that's crazy. When I felt that change within me, it was pretty awesome. Now, the great thing about this, though, is that there's long streaming effects from this, like after the fact. So after I did that, I actually felt, don't want the 14-hour live stream if you visit the North Korea. No. I wouldn't be visiting North Korea anytime soon. I'm all set with that. South Korea would be cool. North Korea, not so much. I won't be going to North Korea anytime soon. But South Korea here is beautiful. Especially, there's a place that I would like to go. It's Jeju Island. It's like a resort island, and it's like beautiful there, beautiful beaches and all that. But I also have to make it to, and it may happen this year potentially, make it to Portugal, make it to Europe, because that's where a lot of my ancestors and my peeps are. So that's kind of cool. But see, this is the thing. Carrying stuff, and believe me, I'm always carrying stuff. I'm like one of those hermetic, nomads that I'm prepared for everything. I'm prepared for the apocalypse all the time. I've got a multi-tool on me. I've got stuff. I've got things that are prepared. All of that stuff, in case something happens, in case it gets real. I've got stuff to take care of it. However, sometimes when you are safe and secure and everything, it's really really awesome to just kind of step back and say, I'm just going to sit here for a bit and just listen. Listen to the waves crashing. Listen, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's another thing. See, this in our lives, we have so much that we'd love to do. We intentionally have so many things. And I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of projects, things that you'd love to do, things on your bucket list, all of that. So in sitting there, being unplugged, not having technology near me, grounding and centering at that moment, being in that be here and now moment, having that epiphany, it brought me to thinking all these things. Geez, what happened to that book you wanted to write? Got to get on top of that. The creative juices started going. The brain synapses started happening. And also, the interesting thing as well is that when you're out in nature, runners experience this a lot too. They get a high. They get the feel-good hormones that come in as well. So not only vitamin D, you get the sunlight, but it is just really, really good for you. It is amazingly good for your health. Also, too, now, of course, with fluorescent lighting, you notice a lot of things are now LEDs, so they don't affect you the same. But with fluorescent lighting, some people can't deal with fluorescent lighting. I knew quite a few people that they would feel ill with fluorescent lighting. So that kind of lighting just kind of made them feel uneasy. They didn't feel right. It just kind of like messed with them. So even that proves something. Now, I also read in a social media post today that if we didn't have the lenses in our eyes, we'd actually be able to see UV light. That was kind of interesting. But see, this is all parts of how we're built. So ultimately, it's just so much, as Bradley was saying earlier, it's good to go back to the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Something I follow on social media, and I think that it's incredibly important as well, is, and I've mentioned this in I think one or two other broadcasts as well, is about motherhood and about breastfeeding and about being a natural parent. There was a post that I had seen. It was just a beautiful sight. It was a mother doing a yoga pose, and her baby was breastfeeding, was feeding off of her. And I thought that was amazing. That was just a beautiful image. But the interesting thing about that is, though, isn't that funny how society kind of throws a monkey wrench in these kind of things? And honestly, and Annie, you have a good point there. Skin on skin is not only just good for the baby, it's good for a lot of people. They have done studies on people that own pets that just, petting an animal lowers your blood pressure and gives you ease. It brings you out of this. It could bring people that are depressed out of their depression, to the point that they're bringing pet ambassadors or pet therapists into nursing homes and hospitals for older people or sick people or children to just be with them. And they find that they're actually getting benefits from that. So that's another thing. But this is what I'm trying to say. It's bringing things back to nature is really, really important, and we don't do it enough. I don't do it enough, and I'm a pretty earthy, crunchy dude, and I don't do it enough. I'm surrounded by technology all the time. I don't put enough time. I'm not outside as much as I used to be, and all these things. And I'm being transparent here. I need to do that more of that. I need to go out there more. And if I'm going out to get the mail, linger out there a little bit more. Take a walk. Take my dog for a walk. It's just, that's really important. So we forget that natural state where we feel best. So that's a good question. Do you remember when you were in that state of comfort? Now, Anna's saying here she's crunchier than she realized. Well, see, there you go. And also, too, and to also mention, Anna's also one of those moms that's a homeschooling mom. And she did very well because her children are very, very intelligent. And they're very accomplished as well. So there's that stigma too. Homeschool, regular school, homeschool. There's that whole thing. And I know people on both sides. And I can say there are benefits in both. But this is really, really important. Bringing ourselves back to that natural state. It's really hard to do when we're getting blasted by, television, media, social media posts, things like that. All those things is really, really difficult to do. A lot of times if I am hanging out or if I am having dinner, I will purposely not pick up my phone. I won't engage with my phone because I'm engaging with someone. I'm engaging with people. How many times have you seen this? People at a table and they're doing this. That's all they're doing. Now, they're not having a conversation at the table. They're all checking their phones, posting, doing whatever. There's that lost art of just communication, of talking to each other, talking to people. And I can't say that's all bad. If you want to check your phone and check something out real quick or whatever, or something happens, or if you're watchful over your family, that's different. That's a totally different thing. But sometimes to bring you back to that point of just like, okay, I'm a bit of a, I guess, ambivert in certain ways. But also too, it's like the digital books, like Nook and Kindle and all that, and the digital media, and then the regular book. I love regular books. But when you travel, you can't really carry, a ton of books. I've done that. That eventually made me have to carry another bag just for books and things to entertain myself on a flight. But that's the thing, it's to be able to feel the pages, turn the pages and everything. They emulate in a digital, when you have a digital book or an e-reader, they have the same emulation of flipping through pages and all of that. How about just actually picking up a book? That is pretty cool stuff. So this is really what it's all about. I'm just, today is really a reminder of, if you want to go ahead and feel better about yourself, if you want to lower your cholesterol rate, if you want to feel healthier, if you want to drop a couple of pounds, if you want to be able to get out there and be of better health, have less dis-ease, if you will, be a little more earthy, crunchy, it doesn't take a whole lot. It doesn't take a whole lot. It could take as little as walking outside for 20 minutes, walking your dog, doing something like that. Unplugging from your technology for a little bit. Now, I remember recently I was watching a show, a live stream, and someone had mentioned about how they missed going to Blockbuster. Some of you may not know Blockbuster, just saying. You may have not even, you don't even remember. It's been purged from your memory. But back in the day, we actually used to have to go get the movie. We actually had to go wait for a new release to come out. We had to actually go and get it in a format, plug it into your VCR, right? Seriously. Hey, John, welcome. But seriously, I still have a VCR. I use it for the clock, but you know what I mean. I have a VCR, DVD player, and all that. Now, the funny thing is, even now with technology, you have to look for a computer with an optical drive or the DVD drive. A lot of them don't even have them anymore. A lot of the new ones. So it's like kind of weird. To me, that's weird. I want to be able to make a CD or something. I want to be able to make an auto CD and throw that in. Video laser disc. That I don't have hooked up, but I think I have a video laser disc, probably in my attic. Those are like the big, huge, like the big, look like big vinyl records, but they were video. That's old school as well. But in this live stream, the person had mentioned that they missed going to Blockbuster and looking around and picking a movie or two or three, grabbing, jujubes or dots or hot tamales, and that kind of thing. Going home. That's where the Netflix and chill came from. It wasn't Netflix before. And unfortunately, a lot of those places have been demolished. The Blockbusters and the DVD rental places, even Redbox. I haven't seen a Redbox in quite a while. I saw one going back a few months ago, but it was kind of random. It was a random thing. I can't remember where I saw it. But the Redbox kind of replaced the Blockbuster. You go and you get the DVD, you get the player, and all that. Bristol House of Video. Yeah, right? But that's where we were, where it's like just a natural state of being. Like reading a book. And believe me, I am very much a fan of technology. I think technology is a wonderful thing, and I love technology. However, it's a tool, and I think people forget that, and sometimes people use that as more of a distraction than a tool. And it is only a tool. I used to be far more connected to devices more often, where if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd bring my phone. Seriously. How long are you going to be in the bathroom? And I'd bring my phone. Yeah. Because you have to be entertained. Apparently. You have to be entertained. But see, this is the thing. So things have changed. So now I challenge you to be able to potentially unplug. Unplug from the matrix, Neo. Kind of take a look at where you're at. There's that saying, that old expression, stop and smell the roses. There's an app for that. Did you know that there are so many technological advances for things that it's just ridiculous? Sometimes it's good to just do the. But see, this is the interesting thing, and Anna says that's very, very poignant actually. She says, she said here, unplug and let yourself get bored. Interestingly enough, I don't get bored. There's too many things to do. There's too many things that need to get done. So, if I have time, if I have a moment, do I get bored? Not really. I'm like, oh, you know what? Oh, I can pick up that book I've been wanting to read. That'd be cool. Or, I can start, like I've got like 3 books that that have been bugging me to be written. I've got a few projects, creative projects that need to get done, need to get started and done. And these are things that I've thought about over the past God knows how many years, but life gets in the way. So this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this topic today. It will actually do you incredible amounts of good, body, mind, and spirit, to unplug and to get outside. Because ultimately, when we're inside the house, okay, you're inside the house, your house is grounded, right? To a point, your house is grounded. But it's not grounded in the same way if you're walking across your floor as opposed to actually walking outside barefoot. We usually have rubber-soled shoes. We're disconnected. We're disconnected from the earth. We're disconnected from our surroundings. Some of us wear too many clothes. We're all layered up and we don't get to feel the elements. All those things. And unfortunately, we don't think about that. We've become comfortable we've been hypnotized. Yeah, and you know what is, and to be fair, a lot of it is life. When challenges get thrown your way, those are the first things that kind of get sacrificed. That book needs to get written, and creative projects. I'd love to get back into writing music again. All those things. It's just there's just enough time. Exactly. And these are the important things. Ultimately, you are only going to be as good as you can be with the amount of attention you give to let your body heal, or let your body recover, or to let your body get back to homeostasis. And if we're surrounded by the craziness of our jobs and the craziness of our frenetic lives, then we don't really get to exist further from that, that mesmerized zombie-like state. So this is one of the big reasons why I decided to bring up this topic about unplugging, getting out in nature, doing things, activities that are outdoors. You know, I know quite a few people that, and they still do this today, is they'll have dinner and they'll take a walk. It doesn't matter whether it's snow, rain, doesn't matter. They will just take a walk. Doesn't have to be a long walk. Some nights, if it's really cold, the walk could be shorter. The walk could be larger. You know? But it's just really, it's good for you to be able to do that. Huh? Yeah, John's like, huh? Nature? What? Now, I can honestly say, like, John and I, from way back when, from back in the days of radio, CB radio, we'd be out in nature all the time. And that was the only technology we had around us. So we'd be on the beach somewhere, or we'd be all talking and hanging out. Yes, that used to be called an evening constitutional. Yes. And that's important. And we really probably should bring some of those things back. Some of those older things are actually good for you. You know? And I didn't see that prompt. But that's good. Oh, you have one. Oh, that's good. Cool. And yes, I'm on top of that. But thank you. But this is all part of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a quick little summary. It may even sound like a commercial, just for S&G. But no, but seriously, if you're stuck to your phone, you're stuck to your phone, you're stuck to your technology, you're stuck to all these things, you haven't seen outside in months, other than getting in your car, getting out of your car. It might do you some good. There was a commercial. Milk does your body good, right? Milk does the body good? Well, I'm going to edit that a little bit. Nature does your body good. Unplugging makes your body good. Being able to step out of your own insanity, the world you call your life, and be able to step away for a moment. Stop and smell the roses. Oh, geez. I still have mine somewhere, too. I should find it. But it's important to take the time to unplug. Put the phone down. Step away from the television. And check out a real reality show. Like really real. Like your backyard. If you have a field nearby, walk in the field. Just watch out for the landmines. Or the cow mines. Or the horse mines. Take a moment in your life to take a break. To take a pause. Take a breath. And not think. Not think about all the crazy to-do lists and grocery lists and things that you have to do. Take a minute just to hear what you see, what you hear out there, to see a beautiful sunset or a beautiful sunrise. To read a book, smell those musty pages. You may not find that with a new book, but you find that with an old book. Feel what it's like to be part of this world, not just a chapter. Because ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, you are important. We all are important. And if we don't connect mindfully to what's out there, then how can we be better people? This is part of the reason why the world is the way it is today. A lot of people are disconnected. So this is my challenge to you, to connect by disconnecting from technology, unplugging for a moment, going out there. Now John's saying here, I love walking in the coffee shop, seeing some young guy and girl sitting at the table together and not talking because they're busy texting each other. Yeah, I know. I was just talking about that. And they're texting each other. And some of you have witnessed this. I like talking to people. I like communicating with people. So many times, whether I'm walking in to grab a coffee or having a meal, it is not uncommon for me to show up at a restaurant, see a server, and get a hug from a server. Seriously. Real story. Because that server is not just someone that goes and is pimped out to bring my food. They're a real person. An interesting person. With feelings, intelligence, and something to share. So ultimately, that's what it's really all about. This is just a little reminder to say, giving yourself a little bit of time to unplug every so often. Take a nice bubble bath. Yes, I'm a guy for secure, saying bubble bath. That's right. If my bathtub was big enough, I would take more baths, to be honest with you. But being a big bear, you can't really do that. But ultimately, get back to nature. Unplug every now and then. Put the phone down. Take a look at real life away from all the craziness. Well, thank you for that. I don't know about that, but thanks. But ultimately, just reconnect. Take that primal self of yours, that tribal old self of yours, that natural self of yours, the part of you that used to go out into the park and enjoy just running around the park or laying on the ground watching the shapes of the clouds. Take a minute and do that more often. I can guarantee you'll feel different after you're done, and you'll want to do it more. So that's just my little challenge, my little reminder, and my happy little show. But some quick reminders. I may be live streaming this Thursday because it will be the second year anniversary of Insight with Moonshadow. So please do stay tuned. And also, if you have any kind of motivational, anything that you put out there in social posts, I want to put it out there that people know about this movement. So please do use the hashtag Be Strong, Be Amazing, Be You, just to put it out there so people to know I and all of you, really inspired me to do this work. So I really appreciate you guys being here and spending time with me every week, even if it's just a minute, a moment, because sometimes that's all we have, just a moment to connect. So I appreciate and love you all. I hope that you have an amazing rest of the Monday evening. And stay tuned. And also, too, if you know anyone that is interested in this kind of content or could use this kind of content or could learn something from it, feel free to send them this way. We're also in the process of trying to build 1,000 subscribers because we are on the edge of demonetization. I have not received that email yet, but once demonetization happens, that means YouTube, there is no way of making money on YouTube. And right now, this is on a shoestring. This is on, we're working on effort and willpower here. So if you want to support or help, feel free to let people know. Subscribe, hit that little bell. I think it's down right there on YouTube. Hit that little bell for notifications so you'll know. And you'll get all the, whenever I go live, all that good stuff. There's a lot of new content coming up. There's so many different ideas that are going to be brought up as well. So stay tuned. This is a new year, 2018. A lot of new things coming up. So just trying to get better, bigger and better, and just bringing it out there further, getting more exposure. So I want to thank you all. And we'll catch you guys next week. And as always, be strong, be amazing, be you. Light and Juju, guys. Take care. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the Monday.